The moment fear almost stopped me. I'll never forget the moment fear nearly froze me in place. It wasn't during a fight, as you might expect, but when I first arrived in America with just $100 in my pocket. Everything I knew was gone. Everything I'd built was left behind. You've felt it too, haven't you? That tightness in your chest when you face the unknown. Society tells you to push it down, to run from it. But they're wrong. Fear isn't your enemy. It's the greatest gift you'll ever receive if you know how to use it. Today I'll show you how I learned to turn fear into unstoppable power. Growing up in Hong Kong, fear was no stranger to me. The streets were my teacher, and every challenge taught me something profound. But it wasn't the fights that scared me most. It was the fear of not becoming who I was meant to be. That fear followed me everywhere, whispering doubts with every step I took. Many people look at me and think I've moved beyond fear, that I've become fearless. That's a dangerous misconception. The goal isn't to be fearless. Such a state doesn't exist. Even the greatest warriors feel fear. The difference lies in how they respond to it. Let me share something I've rarely told anyone. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling fear fully and moving forward anyway. Every time I stepped into a challenge, every time I faced an opponent, fear was my companion. But instead of fighting it, I learned to listen to it. Here's what I discovered. Fear is energy. Raw, powerful, primal energy. When you feel fear, your heart races, your senses sharpen, and your body prepares for action. This isn't weakness. It's your body channeling ancient wisdom, preparing you for greatness. Think about it. When you're afraid, you're at your most alert. You're most alive. Every cell in your body is awake, ready, waiting. Most people waste this energy by trying to suppress it or run from it. But what if I told you this energy could become your greatest source of power? I spent years studying not just martial arts, but the nature of energy itself. And I can tell you with certainty, the energy of fear is identical to the energy of excitement, of breakthrough, of transformation. The only difference is in how you direct it. When I was developing Jeet Kune Do, people asked me, how can you fight without a fixed style? They feared the unknown, the unconventional, the fear of breaking tradition, of stepping outside what's familiar. It's the same fear that holds back human potential. Remember what I always say. Boards don't hit back. Your fears are often like these boards. Rigid, lifeless things that only have the power you give them. Let me tell you how I discovered this truth. In my early days of teaching, I noticed something fascinating about nervous energy. Before demonstrations, my students would be filled with anxiety, their hands shaking, their breathing shallow. I taught them something revolutionary. Don't try to calm down. Instead, redirect that energy. If your hands are shaking, let them shake faster. If your heart is racing, make it race for your advantage. Physical fear and mental fear are deeply connected. When you face a physical challenge, a fight, a performance, a competition, your body creates energy. The same happens with mental challenges, a business decision, a life change, a personal confrontation. The key isn't to distinguish between these types of fear, but to understand they are the same energy appearing in different forms. This is where my philosophy of being like water becomes crucial. Water doesn't fight against obstacles. It flows around them, over them, even through them. When you feel fear rising, be like water. Don't resist the energy, flow with it, embrace it, let it fill you with power. Fear is trying to prepare you for greatness, but most people interpret its energy as a warning to stop. Here's what most people never realize. The difference between fear and power is simply a matter of direction. Fear is energy flowing inward, creating tension, doubt, and paralysis. Power is that same energy flowing outward, creating action, confidence, and breakthrough. The transformation isn't about fighting fear. It's about redirecting its flow. Empty your cup. This is what I tell every student who comes to me, filled with preconceptions about fear. If your cup is already full of what you think you know about fear, how can you learn its true lessons? Most people's cups are overflowing with society's teachings, that fear is weakness, that it must be eliminated, that it holds you back. Empty your cup first. I learned this the hard way during my own journey. Every fear I faced became my teacher. When I feared a particular kick wasn't strong enough, that fear taught me perfect form. When I feared a technique wouldn't work in real combat, that fear drove me to test and refine until it became unbreakable. Fear was never my enemy. It was my most honest mentor. Let me introduce you to a concept I call productive tension. In martial arts, complete relaxation is as useless as complete tension. The real power lies in the balance between the two. Think of a bamboo reed. It has tension, yet it can bend without breaking. This is how you should hold your fear. Not so tight that it paralyzes you, but not so loose that you lose its lessons. I remember preparing for a crucial demonstration in front of grandmasters. Everyone expected traditional forms, predictable patterns. My fear told me to play it safe, to stick to what they knew. But I listened deeper to that fear. What was it really telling me? It was showing me exactly what I needed to innovate, to break free. That fear of disappointment became the fuel for my most innovative techniques. This is the philosophy that transformed my fear into power, not by conquering it, but by forming an alliance with it. Fear isn't just an emotion to overcome. It's a compass pointing directly at your next breakthrough. Let me share with you a powerful technique I developed. The mirror technique. Every morning, I would stand before the mirror and face my deepest fears, speaking them aloud, not to defeat them, but to understand them. Your reflection cannot lie to you. When you look into your own eyes and speak your fear, you begin to see it for what it truly is. A signpost pointing toward your growth. Here's your daily practice. 1. Start by catching yourself in moments of fear. Don't judge these moments, observe them. Feel where the fear sits in your body. Is it in your chest, your stomach, your throat? This awareness is crucial. What you can feel, you can transform. 2. When you feel that familiar tension rising, amplify the energy. Feel it growing stronger. Now, direct it into whatever you're about to do. If you're about to speak in public, let that energy fuel your voice. If you're about to make a crucial decision, let it sharpen your focus. 3. Start with small victories. Don't try to conquer your biggest fear first. Begin with the smaller ones, the daily fears. Fear of speaking up in meetings. Fear of trying a new technique. Fear of looking foolish. Each small victory reprograms your relationship with fear. Practice this daily, like any other skill. Fear will visit you every day, giving you countless opportunities to transform it into power. Each time you feel afraid, silently thank your fear for offering you more energy to work with. This isn't just philosophy. It's practical alchemy, turning the lead of fear into the gold of personal power. Remember how I started with just $100 in my pocket, facing the unknown in a foreign land. That same fear that once paralyzed me became the foundation of everything I built. Looking back, I realized that every significant breakthrough in my life came wrapped in the disguise of fear. Fear isn't your enemy. It never was. Fear is like a finger pointing toward the moon. Don't focus on the finger, or you'll miss all that heavenly glory. Your fears are pointing directly at your destiny, showing you exactly where you need to go. From this moment forward, make a decision. When fear rises within you, don't retreat. Step forward. Feel its energy coursing through you, transforming into pure power. Because the truth is, your fears aren't here to stop you. They're here to show you how powerful you can become. Remember, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. I'll meet you at the entrance.